I've just spent $400 on some of the best Temu gaming products. Let's find out if it's worth it. Okay, so starting off strong, I spent $160 on this 27-inch, 144Hz gaming monitor. All right, so first impressions coming right out of the box, the build quality is actually pretty good. It's sleek, it's stylish. I really like this kind of triangular stand. I think that's pretty cool, and a lot of the other high-end monitors in the market have that. And what I found was this is the best bang for your buck. By far, it is the cheapest option if you're looking for a curved 27-inch, fast refresh rate gaming monitor. You can see that even though it says 144Hz on the box and on Temu, it's actually 180 Hertz. 36 free frames? What the f? All right, so next up is the monitor light bar. I'm actually really impressed with the quality. It's got that kind of aluminium metal finish off the top. You can actually hear it. Sounds great. We all know that sitting in the dark staring at a screen just isn't good for your eyes. And I think that's where this thing comes into play. If you've got some studies that you need to finish, kind of a late night gaming session, anything to do with that, I think this is where this thing thrives. All right, now this one I was pretty excited about. This is a 60% mechanical keyboard. It has Cherry MX red switches, and it only cost me $27. So I put this keyboard to the test. I played a bit of Fortnite, I did a typing test, and actually it held up pretty well. The keys are really smooth, they sound great, and for $27, I'm actually pretty impressed. I was expecting some kind of membrane keyboard, do you know what I mean? Sticky fingers, something that you just don't want to have. But this, I'm pretty impressed, man. Not bad at all. All right, so next up are these RGB LED light bars. They were $15, and as you can tell from my setup, I'm a bit of an RGB nerd. My favorite part of this is that the remote has so many options. So you can change it from multicolored to kind of like a static color. You can actually change all the different modes. You can even speed up, if I do this, you can even speed up how quickly the colors change. So overall, not bad for $15, but I think with a little bit extra money, I think you can get a lot more. You can't have a gaming keyboard without having a gaming mouse, right? Well, that's exactly what we did. This right here is a $14 wireless gaming mouse. It has RGB, which looks amazing. It's really lightweight, almost feels as light as my Logitech G Pro Wireless. If we look on the bottom of the mouse, there's actually a USB receiver right here, which you simply just pull out. That then goes into the computer. It also has this button right here that allows you to cycle through the RGB modes. So you can pick your favorite, or if you're really sweaty, you go no RGB. I think the main issue I have with this mouse, because it's $14, you're not expecting much, right? Well, there's only 4 feet on the bottom of the mouse. And what that means is when you're actually using it, it's not that slidey, right? You want a mouse to be able to glide around your desk. Unfortunately, this just doesn't quite do it. All right, so next up are these IEM headphones. These are in-ear monitors, and I was really surprised. They cost me $7. I would say these are targeted towards those competitive players, the ones that need to kind of isolate the noises that are around the house, or maybe you just want to hear the game and nothing else. I think these are a no question asked go-to. I tested these when I played Fortnite, and honestly, I could hear everything. I heard people when they were miles away. It's a bit awkward to kind of use these things, and so it's one of those things that you just kind of set and forget. You kind of have to put it behind your ear like this, and then it kind of goes in your ear like that. But once they're in, wow. Honestly, noise cancellation. The noise is a little flat. I think it could do with a little bit more bass, but if I'm being honest, there's nothing a little bit of software can do. So if you're willing to try these out for $7, tweak them, find a little YouTube tutorial, I think these are an absolute winner. So this thing's pretty cool. It's a mini desktop vacuum cleaner. And look at this thing. It looks like it's straight out of Wall-E. I had to pick it up. It cost me $7. And if this works, the Dorito dust, no more. So let's put this to the test. I got the best flavor. Tell me in the comments if that's the best flavor. If you know, you know. It's just so good. Oh yeah. So let's put this to the test. Oh no, my keyboard. Oh no. No, don't worry. I've got my mini robot vacuum cleaner. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Is this actually working? Oh, oh, oh. Oh no. So it didn't, I don't know if this actually worked, if I'm being honest. I think it was quite promising to start with, and then I think it must have got like a big chunk or something in there, and it didn't like it. I mean, you can kind of open it, so if you twist this, you can open it, and you can actually see it did pick up some of the dust, right? But did it clean it all? Not really. All right, guys, this might be my favorite product yet. This is the Turbo Air Duster, and it is a mini jet engine that I honestly think might be better than anything I've ever seen. It spins up to 180,000 RPM, and it is absolutely crazy. Oh my gosh, man. This thing is crazy. As you can see, it works like a charm. And if you're after a new piece of cleaning equipment or tech, this is the one that should be in your basket. Nothing else. Highly recommend. So next up is this soundbar that claims to have 4D high quality surround sound and RGB to make your setup even cooler. The only thing I can say about this thing is the build quality. It's a little lightweight, a lot lighter than I thought it was gonna be, or at least what the pictures looked like. But let me show you a clip of when I actually used it for the first time, how impressive this thing actually sounds. Oh, okay. Hey, oh, hey. So as you can see, this thing is actually impressive, and the audio you heard was actually coming through onto my mic, so it sounded even better in person. For $21, not bad, man, not bad. I feel like these products are getting better and better. This is a RGB gaming controller. What I want to talk about is the build quality. This thing feels amazing. I've had my fair share of controllers in the past, from PlayStation 4 all the way over to Xbox, and this thing, exactly the same. The build quality is amazing. There's no creaks, there's no noises, everything just feels amazing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think what surprises me the most is this thing is packed full of features, which we're just about to get into. I can adjust things like button remapping, joystick options. I can even adjust the amount of vibration strength from very, very low all the way to the max vibration right there. We can even adjust which buttons on the back. As you can see, there's 4 paddles here. We can see which buttons on the back remap to buttons that are on the front. I had to give this controller a go. I jumped on Fortnite, played with the boys, I asked them where we're dropping, and I tested this out. And this thing was actually really impressive. The buttons on the back, I'm not gonna lie, my building sucked. I'm not the best on controller, but these things made it a lot easier, that's for sure. I can see if you're a competitive controller player, this is probably the one you're looking for. And not only that, it even comes with a wireless charging dock. So when you're done playing with your controller, you can simply set it on the dock and forget it. How good is that? And last but not least, control freaks. If you want to become better at using a controller, these are a must-have in anybody's cart. So not only does this make it easier to move the joystick because of that increased leverage, but it also means you've got a further distance to travel, meaning you can be a lot more accurate when playing your games. And this one here for movement, obviously you don't need to be as accurate, but you still want that increased precision, and that's why you have this one. So for $3.30, these things are worth picking up. Pretty cool. All right, everybody, that is it for today. There's a link in the description if you want to go to Temu. They do free shipping worldwide, which is just amazing. And do me a favor, let me know in the comments, out of all the products I showed you, which one was your favorite? I'd love to hear it. Anyway, speak to you guys soon.